this is Alyssa Borrelli, Senior Editor for Commercial Integrator. Today I'm delighted to have Matthew Skolkowski from Crimson AV for a discussion about how integrators can have better DVLED conversations that build trust and drive better outcomes. Welcome, Matthew. So great to have you here today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Today's conversation is part of Commercial Integrator's DVLED Deep Dive Report in the May-June edition of Commercial Integrator Plus Security, Sales, and Integration. This will also be spotlighted online. Let's jump right into it. For those who may not know about Crimson AV, can you share a little bit about the company and also how you came to focus on the DVLED space to better support the industry?
Yeah, absolutely. For those who don't know Crimson, we're known for our mounting solutions. We now have over 30 years experience, primarily known for mounting solutions and custom AV support across commercial, residential markets. And then we started the DVLED technology side, basically because we came across a lot of opportunities and questions and support that needed. So we saw that major gap in the market where integrators needed more than just panels and modules, right, for LED. They need support, education, the mounting expertise, of course, the processing knowledge, and that works with us with our partnership with Nostar. The logistics, which is a big thing we'll talk about the getting things around with the gas prices and everything right now. And then most important probably is the post-installation support. So really that's what led us into launching the LED Experts Group, which is a division of Crimson AV. I always say if Crimson's Nike, we're the Jordan brand, so we're a little more exciting, a little more fun than just bent metal. But we try to, take that, remove the fear and the complexity around the DV LED product, and try to simplify it. So our background in mounting solutions gave us that unique advantage of becoming, understanding the process and the critical parts of DV LED projects. From there, we expanded our processing and our procedure with, again, our partnership with Nostar, and then giving that engineering support, content providers and partners when needed, and then the long-term support after the installation, which I think is really critical for the end user.
When it comes to any sort of DVLED project, there's definitely lots of moving parts with it. So definitely people can go to Crimson AV for that expert opinion, especially the LED group.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like I said, today we offer indoor, outdoor, all-in-one and customization solutions. So anything from curved to spheres and everything in between. We always tell our partners and people we work with, like, the answer is yes. If one of your end users comes to you and says, I want an LED that goes as an arch or goes on the floor, or I want planets, in my restaurant or wherever it might be, the answer is yes, and we help figure that out for them.
So when those early DVLED conversations begin, what's the first thing that integrators should focus on to set the project up for success?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I always think of is ask, open-ended questions, right? Early in the conversation. And the first thing I would ask is, like, what do you know about DVLED? And again, the first thing I say, there's LED, and everybody thinks of lights everywhere. There's LED lights everywhere. DVLED, direct view LED, is a whole separate, technology. So make sure we got that straightened first. The next thing I say is, where have you seen LED before, or DVLED that is? And most of the times, they're going to be places like restaurants, concerts, sporting events, right? Maybe if they were in Times Square in New York City, or in Vegas, of course, with a lot LED everywhere in that environment. But I ask them, like, what's their expectations? Like, where are they seeing it? What got them excited about it? So instead of just jumping right into pixel, pitch, and specs, I always try to act almost like a consultant and tell our integrators, act like a consultant, not a salesperson, right? And then after that, right, then you can help uncover the real goals for the project. Then we'll start talking about viewing distance, the lighting, content type, budget expectations, right, the maintenance of it, and things of that nature.
So how can integrators shift the conversation from specs and price to value, experience, and long-term performance when discussing DVLED solutions?
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge topic right now, to be honest here, right? So there are a lot of, actually many low options entering the market right now. So clients naturally are going to compare price, right? But integrators need to understand and educate them what they're actually buying, right? So you'll hear us a lot, but not all DVLED is created equal, okay? So you have to look at, first off, the type of grade of your game. When it comes to COB, there's different grades. And then what other LED technology you're using. There's SMD, now MIP, which is the newest thing that's coming out of the market. It's really high grade. So what are you buying and what are you doing with it? Um, the other thing is the diodes, right? So diodes are separate. That's the type of dye that goes in the LED that can drastically change the performance short term and definitely long term on the screen. You're talking about the refresh rate, your PCB layers, think of that almost like a protective or wax right on your screens in a way. How you service it, right? So a lot of the smaller pixels obviously have front service, which is easy to take out a module. But if you have rear service, you have to know that going in, basically with the bigger SMD projects out there in technology. So all these type of things, and of course the warranty is a very important post installation. But then also, what's the spare? So a lot of people understand that you have those spares because it's a batch, just kind of like flooring in your house, I always say, right? So when you buy flooring for your kitchen or your living room, you get those 10 to 20% spares just in case there's a crack or a water break, something happens. Because a year or 6 months from now, that batch of flooring won't exist. DVLED modules are exactly the same. So it's very important to have enough spares and the right batch of spares so that the end user never has any downtime. So we always stress that as well. So there's a couple of many different things you want to look at, obviously. And then another big factor right now is the shipping and logistics, which I kind of mentioned earlier. Global food costs are going up very much, especially overseas logistics right now. So you have to make sure the integrator explains to the end user what the current climate is. Just like when you're buying a house, there's times where the interest rates are higher and lower, and those are pros and cons to both of those if you're buying or selling. But in this world, make sure you understand right now the pricing will be higher to get the logistics, and then look at the options if you want to ship it by sea, as we call it, or by air. Obviously, by air is a lot more expensive, but if there's a short timeline, that might be the option. So explain those options and the pricing and why they are that way, so that the end user has a clear understanding of his options moving forward.
What are some best practices for building trust and guiding clients through the DVLED decision-making process, especially for first-time buyers?
Yeah, I mean, I always stress on two main things. I think it's education. We kind of talked about educating the end user what they're buying and why, and transparency is everything. Tell them upfront the pros and cons of the different options and the prices and what they're buying. Um, for first-time buyers, especially, it can feel overwhelming, right? Because there are so many different technical terms and configuration options out there. So the best thing for integrators to do is simplify it, the process, and act almost, like I said earlier, like a consultant instead of just a salesperson or the actual integrator that's going to do it. So recommend a couple of things. I would always show real world examples. So case studies, if we have on our website and our YouTube page, is really great for indoor, outdoor, and all the one applications. If you're going to buy something, spend a lot of money on something, you want to kind of see what you're going to get, right? If you want to put an outdoor LED at your pool or an outdoor application, what's that going to look like? If I'm going to spend a lot of money for amazing home theater with multiple images and videos playing at once, what's that going to look like? What am I getting with that cost, right? So again, set realistic expectations on timelines and logistics like we talked about. These things aren't in a box sitting somewhere you can bring them. They really are a customization every time. When you talk about, anything from 108 diagonal and up in any type of, environment, and explain the process. And then the other thing I would say is make sure you break down the control system. So there's the processor, which again is Novastar for the most part. They have most of the majority in market, and that's why we partner with them. But also the control system. Is it going to be Apple TV or whatever it might be? Make sure all those things are working in together and communicating up front, so there's no issues when you do the installation.
So before we wrap up, is there anything else you would like to add? Will Crimson AV be at InfoComm this year?
Yeah, we will. Yes, we will. We've been there every year, it feels like. I think it's going on our 14th or 15th year. I lost track. But yeah, we'll be at North Hall. I think our number is, it's N. That's the one thing I did write down. N7945 is our booth this year. So we're excited. We did a whole kind of new booth remodel or redesign, that is. So we're excited to show that for everyone for the first time. We're going to have our LED option, obviously LED, DVLED applications, indoor, outdoor, different pixel pitches for our customers, clients, and distributors to review. We'll have some really cool kiosk products as well that we're debuting. And of course, we'll have all the different mounting solutions. I think we have over 320 mounting solutions now in our warehouse, ready to ship at any time up in Northbrook, Illinois, just north of Chicago. So if you are coming to InfoComm, please reach out to us. Happy to show you all those things live and in person.
Can't wait to see the booth at InfoComm this year. And once again,
Absolutely.
that booth number was in the North Hall, 7945.
That's correct. Yeah. We change it every year. I have to double check all the time. It's the only thing I don't have top of my head yet.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Matthew, for joining me. And thanks again for sharing your insights.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Take care.
Please check back on commercialintegrator.com and, of course, Imprint for all things DVLED related.